Hi, this is Tom, and welcome to this week's Thrive in 5. This week's Thrive in 5 is entitled Your Words Create Your World. Your words create your world. And this is something that I spend a lot of time thinking about. This is something I spend a lot of time working on with my coaching clients. It's something that I'm constantly aware of because what I know for sure is the words that people use are actually the genesis of the actions that they take and the kind of life they lead. And I want to explain that to you, but I want to explain it to you first with an illustration that comes from early on in my life, and it was learning to drive the car in Canada. And when you learn to drive the car in Canada, especially when there's a significant amount of winter involved, one of the things that you have to learn and understand how to deal with is ice. And so when you're driving on ice, one of the things you know is that your car could slip at any time, and you go into these kind of weird tailspins and things like that. And one of the things, and I don't recall who exactly taught me this, but it's stuck in my head for years, that when you're driving and something goes wrong, always look where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. And so really what you do is you tend to look to where the place you want to go, and automatically when you look to where you want to go, you actually steer to where you want to go, and that becomes a huge thing. What many people do and what often people do is they look where they don't want to go. And when you look where you don't want to go, what happens is you almost automatically steer to the place you don't want to go. And that serves as an illustration and maybe as a foundation because it really affects us with our words. And words are really part of our conscious mind. So when I am interacting with a client, when I'm talking to someone about their life, about their goals, about the way their life's unfolding, what I'm listening for is what their conscious mind is talking and speaking. And I think the conscious mind is most evidenced by words. And it's often evidenced by words to others. Say when I'm talking with somebody, I'm hearing their words, and that's evident of how they consciously think. But most often, it's actually represented by the words we say to ourselves. And so the conscious words that are either verbally expressed or in our minds repeated over and over again become really the conscious foundation of what's going to happen in our world. And that conscious foundation comes from a history and habit. So for example, and this is one that I spent a lot of time talking to my kids about, and if you ask my kids to roast me, one of the things they'll talk about is my insistence on the way they use words. So when my kids will say, I can't do that, I can't really figure that out. When I can't figure something out, interestingly what happens, so the conscious mind says, I can't figure it out, that now has a direct influence on the unconscious mind. And the unconscious mind starts going, oh, they don't want to figure it out. So when your conscious mind tells your unconscious mind that you can't figure it out, guess what your unconscious mind does? It actually goes to work to support you not being able to figure it out. And so the conscious mind, as you communicate and as you use words to yourself and as you talk to yourself about your life and about what's happening in your life, then what happens is it infects your unconscious mind, and that unconscious mind works to support what the conscious mind says it needs. So really your unconscious mind now is really the evidence of what's happening in your unconscious mind is in your habituated actions. So when you say you can't, you don't. When you say, I can't figure that out, you don't figure it out. When you say, I'm struggling, your mind goes into struggle mode. So your unconscious mind is informed by your conscious mind. And what happens is that creates the world for you. So how you think about it, what you say to yourself, and what you see becomes how you act. How you act gets sort of delivered into the world that you live in. So you're living in a I can't kind of mechanism, and what happens is that comes back and now supports your conscious mind thinking, and it becomes your history and your habits that now start to drive that continual behavior around a belief system. And those words are the only way that I, as a coach, and that you can often find yourself and catch yourself creating your world. So you got to watch your words, because it's your words that create your world. So what are some of the words that I think are really critical? It's the I can versus the I can't. It's the I don't knows. It's the I'm not able to. I don't know enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not strong enough. Those kind of things are the words that actually create your world, and the actions are supportive of the words you take. So if you work with somebody like me, one of the things I'm trying to accomplish as a coach is to figure out what are your words doing, and what are your words indicating, and ultimately what are your actions confirming about the world you're creating. And when you can figure that one out, you can actually come back and start changing your words to change your actions, to change your world. I hope that helps. We'll talk to you next time.